Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Grease Side.
That's
Welcome to the Grease Side, everybody. Welcome to the Grease Side, everybody. It's been Paul Ziegler.
Thank you. Early.
Yeah, early.
Fucking early.
Gary Larson is going to sue us.
I welcome his lawsuit. Fuck what Gary Larson's got to do. I got a notification on my phone, Paul, that'll give you lots of hope for humanity. It says tomorrow our 8th billion human will be born.
Our 8th billion.
8th billion human will be born. And it's like, is that too few or too many? It's like, I've got an answer for you. Too fucking many.
I think we need to get off this planet immediately, Scotty, because I think it's going to be bad soon.
Yeah, I think you're right. But at the same time, I have no ability to actually get off the planet. So I'm just kind of like, well, I'm fucked.
I mean, we got to get a rocket, man. We got to become billionaires.
Okay.
We got to make a rocket like Elon Musk did.
Okay, I'm tracking this, yeah.
And then we fucking get off this shithole. We go to somewhere else. We go to I heard that one of the moons of Saturn, right? Andromeda, or not Andromeda, that's a galaxy. One of the moons of Saturn has liquid seas and stuff. You go fucking just chill there on a boat.
Dude, all those years ago, we made fun of TJ for the space station idea, but he was just ahead of the curve, dude.
Yeah.
He was ahead of the curve. He just knew it's like, look, I'm going to have a space station. And I mean, even consider this, even if TJ and Gergie did live on the space station together, I mean, that he still gets to watch the beautiful destruction of humanity. Because from that view, it'd be awesome. I mean, if I could be in a space station just looking down and it's like famine, drought, floods, everything, all the horrible shit's happening. I'd be like, oh, those poor fucks. Well, I'm fine up here though.
Dude, they've got plans for Elysium.
Oh,
these rich fucks they're probably working with Elon Musk too. They're like, Elon, how are we going to get a big giant space station up there so we can continue to live in unadulterated luxury, but still profit from the earth? They got this planned.
Fuck yeah, dude. I did an episode where he covered this, and there's a guy that's a tech consultant, and he talked to these people about running their compounds and bunkers and shit.
Oh yeah.
And obviously the guy wanted to give people a full picture of everything. It's and people and most of the tech, these rich guys were like, how do we control people? How do we manage it? And it's like, well, you probably honestly, the most sustainable way is to develop some sort of cooperative, hey, you get to live in my compound. So it's in your best interest to keep doing this and, blah, blah, blah. But these guys were like, we need security collars and shit. And there needs to be a way to ensure their loyalty. So the people who really are running this planet, there's not they're looking at everything going there's less and less. There's they're just going oh, there's less and less for you. There's more and more for me.
Right.
Because if you look at it, it's if you have just a couple of people at the very top that have most of the wealth, that'll still work for them. Yeah, will the planet be shitty? But yeah, but they'll be insulated from it. They'll live in the nicest places. Like you said, if there's an Elysium or some shit, they'll be there. But even if there's not on the planet, they'll figure out as close to utopia as they can make. If they have to build a dome city or whatever,
they're gonna do it. Yeah, they're gonna have it one way or the other. They're gonna fucking have it. They're gonna have an Elysium. They're gonna have a fucking spaceship that they hide 2012, where it's just or a big boat for the flood or whatever the fuck. They've already got plans. There's already contingency plans being worked on. That for sure.
Oh, why wouldn't they? I mean, that's why you have these oh, we're gonna live in New Zealand. No, New Zealand's a great nation. It's yeah, it's really isolated. It's kind of strange these billionaires all want to live in New Zealand for some reason.
Also insulated from the worst of the early catastrophic climate change shit. It's gonna be fine for way longer than India and Central America, and you know what I mean. Those places are going to be fucking uninhabitable, and New Zealand will still be okay.
Well, it's so isolated. It's not like you can just oh, let's just hop over to New Zealand, right? You can't just get there's not going to be this massive influx of migrants to New Zealand. It's just, there's not going to be.
You know what I think is going to happen, dude? The polls.
Oh, the pole switch. You think that's gonna happen?
No, I think that they're gonna fucking like that's part of their plan is like eventually we're going to migrate to the poles where the weather is coolest and we're gonna live in fucking beautiful resorts on the poles and none of these other fucking idiots will be able to ever go there. That'll be their Elysium on Earth.
Yeah. Do you have special clearance? Oh, I'm sorry. You cannot travel to these zones. These zones are
Yeah.
restricted access for scientific research. Yes, we're doing very important climate change research at the poles. Only scientists will be allowed there. And Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, Dick Van Dyke is also allowed.
So
People are saying Cyberpaul 2077. Oh, do you still have Netflix, Paul? Or do you I don't know.
yeah, I've got Netflix right
Did you,
now.
did you watch the little anime they came out with? That little one shot.
No, I haven't, but I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I watched it. It was pretty good. I would definitely recommend it. I mean, predictable for sure. But if you I know you're a big fan of the cyberpunk universe. I mean, you've talked about playing the games and stuff. So
Yeah, I really liked the game. Especially the world of the game. I'm a big fan of that kind of like neon drenched near future kind of thing,
oh god, yeah. I mean, and it's not even like honestly looking at that universe, it's not even like necessarily an implausible future at all.
No, I mean that's one of the fun things about it is, especially now, is that a lot of like 'cause cyberpunk has been around for since I think it was the 70s or whatever when Neuromancer was written. Neuromancer is considered by most people to be like the first
Like
cyberpunk
the
thing.
genesis of the cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah, and it was about, it kind of established a lot of the tropes of it, like hacking and all of that stuff was a big deal, and computers, although they appear very different than they appear, in reality. But like now that there are minds working on that shit that know the trajectory, yeah, because cyberpunk is basically about like augmentations hit the market, by cyberpunk reckoning probably 10 or 15 years ago, went from being something that only rich people could afford to like now everybody's got access to it and there are legal ways of getting them, and people are replacing limbs and replacing eyeballs and replacing legs and skin. You know what I mean? They're doing exactly what human beings are going to do
Well,
when given the power to.
oh yeah, the first thing that's going to happen, of course, is going to be like it's going to like be like a very medical application. Like someone has heart failure, and you know what? We can give them a new heart. Oh wow, that's great. But they're not going to stop with something like that. It's not going to be like, oh, you can just give someone a new heart. How about new
No.
kidneys? How about new organs? Oh, okay, shit. You're like, right. How about better eyes, better limbs, stronger limbs? Like
Yep.
you can encase your body in a metal, so like you become way more durable. So like, oh, accidents are going to kill you. It's going to be way more difficult to kill someone in that position.
Eyes with 6x zoom and perfect beyond, perfect 4K vision in both, you know what I mean? And you're just like, you can see in the dark, just
Yeah, Edge
ambiently.
Runners is amazing. Yeah, I was definitely enjoyed that. Like, that was out of like kind of left field for me because I'm not really someone that's even played the games. I've watched Stevie play like his house and watched him play the game, so I'm somewhat familiar with it. Not like super, but definitely after I watched that anime, I was like, you know what, I actually want to play these games now because I kind of got interested. I got hooked in the universe probably, and I'm sure that's probably what their thinking was when they did it too. Get some dummy like me, it's like I'll never play that game, or I'll play it in like 10 years or something when no one gives a fuck about it.
Yeah. Paul, what kind of genitalia did you pick in Cyberpunk? So my first playthrough, I played as a dude with a tiny penis, and like the yeah. Well, the reason is like I don't think I'll ever play. So I know there's a lot of like sex based games. By the way, that's something that's like infected Steam, dude.
Really?
Steam is covered in these fucking like cringy ass sex simulator games or whatever the fuck.
God.
But anyway, I digress. Yeah, no, because I thought, I'll probably never play a game where I can pick a dude with a tiny penis. Like specifically, he's a presents as male and he's got a tiny penis. And then my second playthrough, I did like a hacker build, and I picked like something that presented as female, but I also gave them a tiny penis.
Hey.
So I had a female with a tiny penis and a male. I picked tiny penis both times.
I don't blame you, man. You want to like, fucking keep it real. You're like, this person in this universe, they can have everything, but you know what? They're happy like this.
Yeah.
Their happiness is not derived from the size of their pee-pee.
Right. Yeah, and they could replace the whole fucking thing if they wanted to. Like that's the thing is like They're living in a time where they could probably go in and just like get them swapped out, like whenever they wanted, just go back and forth at your whim. Have like a plug and play genitalia. It's like, I want to have a dick today. Just put it on.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at that point in their universe, I mean, like people would be doing that shit all the time. Obviously, like, maybe there's always going to be, I think, a segment of the population in a universe like that wouldn't do anything like that or wouldn't get augmented, but it'd almost be like an anomaly for that. Oh, those are like that sect of people that are like, I'm only organic. I don't like, probably for religious reasons or other, shit. Because obviously, even if Christianity falls by the wayside or isn't relevant, they'll come up with some other religion like the only pure way is, organic. And there'll be people on the other end like, we need to become synthetic as soon as possible to traverse the galaxy or whatever.
Yeah. Question about the gay Lauder episode. Where does Aragorn fit into everything? And could Gandalf fighting the Balrog be construed as Gandalf trying to suppress the flame? I mean, that's obviously what it is. And look what happens when he finally wins that battle. He's like brought back as like a beautiful drag queen. You know what I mean? Gandalf the White. It just looks like Cher or something, you know what I mean? He definitely looks way closer to Saruman, you know what I mean? It's like he got some Saruman juice when he came back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, I said Aragorn is kind of he's the one straight guy in the Fellowship, and he's pretty progressive for his time, and they're hoping because Aragorn is the rightful king of Gondor that like he's going to change things. But I think in the end, all he does is do what modern liberals do most of the time. He just threw them a pageant or whatever the fuck, get together and put a medal around their necks and thanked them for being so brave or whatever.
Basically, is during his reign probably pretty fair with them, but they're like he's the exception, not the rule, because when his time is done, even though he's going to be very long lived in that universe, who's to say the next king is as wise? Or
right,
because I mean, lacking that life experience. So it's a thing where it's a very special relationship, but once that relationship is over with, that's not really ensured to continue on. Whereas, if it had been enshrined in some way, it'd be more likely to perpetuate itself. I mean, not necessarily that's not always a protection just because there's a law or a rule or whatever, because obviously things can change dramatically. But I think honestly, kind of relied on his own goodness as a person as opposed to some actual recognition.
Right. Yeah, no, that's cool.
Michio Kaku's Physics of the Future is the book that started my cyberpunk journey. Cool. Okoku. Any games either of y'all are looking forward to? The Hogwarts game I am interested in playing, and Dark Tide. The new
40K Dark Tide is really the one that I'm looking forward to the most, I think.
16 days. Like, I think we're hopefully all going to be streaming it soon. I know me and Paul talked about it. I know Stevie said he's going to do something, but I'm not sure if that's still the plan. Obviously, I have to talk to him, but he's telling me
I definitely want to.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I want to stream it for sure.
Yeah, we're thinking day one stream of that. I know we don't really want a gaming channel, but we all just love that universe. I mean, I definitely love the gaming aspect of it. I'm not claiming I play Warhammer a lot or something, but definitely should kind of the lore around it. I'm not super deep into it, but I think it's just fun. Especially the way they, especially Vermintide. That's kind of what hooked me because it's so easy just to jump in and play. Obviously, there's leveling aspects to it too, but it's not like there's not a super steep learning curve where you have to put in like 50 million hours to get good.
No, it's definitely like you can pick up and learn it pretty quick, and you don't really need to know anything. That's the sign of a good game. You don't really need to know anything about the universe to get to be interested in it, but. Yeah, only over the last year or so, I've really started to get acquainted with 40K lore and stuff, and so I'm super excited for this one because I'm kind of a 40K nerd now. I know just enough to get myself in trouble with people that actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah, naturally.
So but yeah, I have a whole lot of fun with Warhammer.
I guess to be reminded, Scotty got my hopes up that I mean, if you're gonna play a solid fucking character in it, yeah. Because I mean,
if you say, dude, nobody's gonna be carrying you though, man. You gotta pull your fucking weight, bro.
Now you can carry us. That's fine. We can be carried, but Johnny, you got to pull your own fucking weight.
Yeah, for sure. You can't be lagging. You can't be laxing, dude.
I'm gonna need proof of a good speed test on your end too. I'm like, look, Johnny, I see how fast. Okay, so you might have to up your internet. I don't know what internet speeds you got. We play for fucking real. Actually, I'm not gonna have any idea what I'm doing. So there's that.
UFOs are real, Scotty.
I already knew that, man.
UFOs are real. I
Fuck
love
you.
that, like, we live at a time where they've basically, like, the government over the last few years has basically confirmed that there are UFOs. Like, they've released multiple previously classified incidents and stuff. They've provided a chronicle of all these different sightings by different Air Force people and space people, and there's more and more people that used to work real close to, like, NASA or whatever, that are coming out and saying it's real. We live at a time where basically, like, and there's only one of two things that could mean. Either Russia or China or both, or some other country that we don't know of has some insane tech that we don't know about, like we don't have yet.
Yeah.
Or
if that's the case, they're so fucking far ahead of us. It's just like I don't know how we don't have a one world government at this point.
Right. Or there's aliens that are actively, somebody's, people from fucking another planet that are coming here, or another time, I guess. Either time travelers that are coming back, time tourism or whatever.
Oh shit.
That's a possibility too, I guess. But they basically admitted this thing that was like the conspiracy nuts dream for like 50 years, man. UFO mania. I was born into UFO mania, man. Everybody thought they saw a UFO. Everybody had a strong opinion. What do you think about UFOs? Oh, I believe in them. Oh, I don't believe in them. And now the government is basically like, yeah, UFOs are real, and nobody cares.
Dude, I think I think the reason no one cares is because I think when you think about it theoretically, it sounds interesting, but when you lay out the obviously there's a multitude of possibilities. But it's like, imagine if, like, it's like, in Star Trek, where it's like there's like more advanced civilizations just like keeping tabs on us, like, what are they doing?
Yeah, we're being watched. Like, we're an experiment. They're probably like studying us sociologically to better understand how life, functions, and maybe they themselves, or maybe they put us here. Like, maybe they seeded the planet with life.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, the possibilities, like, like, it could be fucking goddamn artificial life that's studying us. We don't have any clue. We have no idea. And I think that when you open up to that forum, it's like suddenly it's like humanity looks really small, and it's like, holy fucking shit. Like, what could this mean? And I don't think anyone has a good answer. So it's like,
but nobody cares though. Like, that's the thing that boggles my mind the most, is like, they're basically admitting that it's either another country has technology that so far exceeds ours that it just like fucking puts it to shame, that we don't know how to harness, that we don't know about yet, or there's aliens. That's basically it. And the fact that these types of stories just are kind of like, whatever, aliens, schmalians. Like, what has happened?
It doesn't affect our actual lives. How do you know?
Yeah, how do you know?
I hate to do like the fucking argument for ignorance, but like, I don't know that. I don't know.
Yeah, like, if there are aliens, what if they show up tomorrow? Like, that becomes less of a sci-fi idea and more of a, they could have a date where they're going to show up and bestow technology on humanity or something, and the whole fucking world changes tomorrow.
Earth is a bacon farm. Once humans reach peak population, will be harvested.
Cool. I mean, that could be it. They don't seem to be violent, but maybe they're just waiting till our planet reaches a certain biomass, and then they're going to come and reap us all for fucking slaves or food, or both.
It's a cookbook to serve man. No.
Are the aliens hot? I don't know. See, that's the thing. They could be hot. They could be grotesque.
Maybe it can appear to be whatever you want. You don't know. Maybe it's like a they live thing. They're already here. You get the special sunglasses and you can see the truth. Reproduce, obey, slave. Someone says, why do you think people don't care, Paul?
Because it doesn't seem like, because I feel like if this kind of news and proof had come out like 20 years ago, there would be like mass like panic, and it would be like the major story every night, like who are they, what are they, and there would be like people going like, release it all, man, we need to know who these they would be covered and covered ad nauseum because it was just such a big question back in the day. And the fact that it arrived on the scene like a pussy fart, you know what I mean, it's kind of like, I didn't see that coming. Sorry, I thought when the governments of the world started admitting like, yeah, we see shit flying around that isn't like, it can't be natural, and it can't be one of ours, like it's literally too fast and it can turn at right angles and shit. Like when they started admitting that that's happening, I just thought it was gonna be a big deal, and it's not. Like nobody cares,
No biggie, dude. No biggie.
There's like a whatever, man.
Here's why. Here's humanity. You want to look into the raging it of humanity. If anyone's ever showed my lifetime, I'll bang one. I don't give a fuck if it's some hideous creature or not. We fucking.
I mean, good luck.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like, you know what? I see an alien, I fucks an alien. It's like,
because
if
if they're like, you know, just some advanced race or something, they would probably look at fucking one of us like fucking a monkey. Like we would look at fucking a monkey.
You're gonna fuck a human.
So there's a good chance that like they're not as interested as we are in fucking us. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. There are a lot of people that claim to be like abducted and have sexual things done to them and stuff.
Imagine the alien home world, dude. They're sending back alien porn. It's like, watch alien fuck human. Like, oh,
who knows? Maybe they do.
Maybe they do, man.
There have been a bunch of people. Like I remember there was a dude that used to come on the Howard Stern show. I think he's dead now. Rest in peace, Riley Martin. He was a crazy guy who claimed that he was taken up in a fucking spaceship. He's one of these people. And the aliens are named Biovians in his thing.
Right.
Biovians, yeah, and they looked pretty much like human beings, except for they were extremely attractive. Like there was no
shocking, they weren't ugly.
Right, there was no ugly aliens. They were all just super fucking hot and young.
Yeah, hot alien.
And he claims they brought him up there, you know, took him around the galaxy a little bit and fucked his brains out. And then they would routinely, you know, once every few years, they come back and they pick his old ass up again. They fuck his brains out again, you know. What if that's true though? We all used to, you know, everybody that listened would laugh.
Then he's lived an envious fucking life, dude. If that's the case, he has lived a truly envious life. He gets abducted by the hottest aliens in the galaxy who are like, why not just like, look, we have interstellar travel, no biggie. We'll take you wherever you want to go, fuck your brains out, feed you the finest foods, and just drop you off. Like, oh, that was a fun one. See you in 10.
Yeah, why can't you take me with you? I mean, fuck. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's just a funny thing to me. I don't know if I'm going to ever get an answer for why people don't seem to care. But, you know, I mean, the government and the military is basically on record now saying, you know, yeah, there's shit flying around that might be from another planet. It's like, oh.
I don't know how anyone could be astonished by that. We've talked about so many like critical topics throughout the years on these shows. And I mean, I think obviously you guys watching give a fuck, but as a general rule, most people I like hear in my daily life talking about shit, like it's usually small-minded bullshit. They're not like, oh, climate change, meh, aliens are real, eh. You know, it's like you guys like I don't know. I think maybe you guys are a little bit skewed. You're thinking that like, hey, why don't people give us the fuck about this stuff? It's like they just don't. They don't fucking care. There's just a generalized apathy.
Whatever.
In a lot of fucking circles towards most of these important issues. And like I think it's always just existed. Just like, whatever, you know, like climate change. That's a really big problem. I don't really get it. Oh, the Navy said that there was these UFOs. We have no idea where they're from or what they're doing or anything like that. Oh, well, I mean, that's strange. But then you get people fucking fascinated with like ancient aliens built the pyramids. Whoa, I'm enraptured with this fucking bullshit. It's funny because like the shit that's obviously false people would get so hooked into, because when something's false, you can make whatever you want it to be. You can make it intricate or interesting, and you can play on whatever clickbait bullshit that people want to hear. It's so fucking simple. But then you present them the truth, they don't give a fuck, because usually the truth, I think to a lot of people, is not as interesting. You know,
I
that's
wonder
what we
if do you think that everything would grind to a halt for a day or two if aliens like contacted us and just appeared? You know, they was on everybody's social media and yeah, every news
a lot of
thing
people
was.
wouldn't believe it. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people would. It would be like a crazy event, but like the thing about the same time, we live in the age like a post-truth age. So it's like you'd have a bunch of people going, "Nah, it's not real. Oh,
Right.
it's not real."
Yeah,
It
I
does
mean
on
that's
history,
true.
but it's interesting fiction. I mean, that's not that's. I wasn't saying like it was an historical source. I'm saying like people are more interested in stuff like that than the truth. That's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously that shit is fucking for entertainment purposes only.
I guess the aliens will probably be hostile or would shortly become hostile after Jethro shoots. I mean, dude, if these alien, if their flying machine tech is so far beyond ours, what makes you think shooting them would do
Like,
anything?
yeah, like what? Like you're making this huge assumption that aliens would like mass the alien ground force. Like if they're that advanced, they wouldn't even need to do that.
Yeah,
Why
I
would
mean
they do that at all? Like,
they might be able to like control the minds of people that are within their vicinity so that it precludes, there's never a fucking assassination attempt. They might have some sort of shielding, some electromagnetic shielding that doesn't allow anything to penetrate it. That's they can walk around in. They could be wearing armor that's just completely preclude. They could be fucking non-biological, like Scotty said earlier. Maybe they're fucking mechanical aliens.
yeah, that's
Maybe
what,
there's something that some other alien built that's just studying the universe.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
it could be literally like a fucking like a fly is buzzing around you. Yeah, it might be annoying, but like if your technology is that advanced, like you shooting a little like,
yeah. What if they're
why not even
gas
notice?
aliens? Like, what if they're aliens, but they're in the form of a sentient gas? You know, I mean, there's no telling what might fucking walk out of that one of those fucking things.
Fuck no, dude. No, and there's no way of knowing. And I don't know. It's just one of those possibilities I think is also why no one cares. It's because it's too terrifying. It's too terrifying to like for that because you're talking about like really upsetting the order of the world. I mean, aliens would be it, right? That's like,
Yeah, I would think, but I don't know. Just the way people like have reacted to the fucking government saying, yeah, they're basically aliens are real. Probably.
I just don't think it's concrete enough for most. I think you just need more. I think it would have to just be right in somebody's face. And I think just they look at that, they can be like, oh, it's fake or it's some bullshit. It's the government testing something. I think there's just a million excuses people can make to dismiss it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're probably right about that, but I don't know. It blows my fucking mind that I just every few months another big info dump of like, yeah, we've been for fucking since like the 60s we've been tracking these fucking same things that are flying around and we don't seems like they're curious about us. Dude, Jay Leno might be Two Face. He might be like Harvey Dent. Did you hear
Oh,
about this?
fuck. No, I didn't, man. No, I didn't.
Yeah, he's at a burn center. He's got a serious injury to his face. He was in his Burbank garage where he stores his cars on Saturday. One of the cars erupted into flames. They burned to the left side of his face.
What the fuck, dude? This
Yeah.
is his arc, man. That's how Jay Leno makes his comeback.
He didn't lose an eye or hearing in the ear, so that's a good thing. But as far as like how serious this is, nobody knows. He's canceled all his engagements this week and will probably cancel more. He's in a burn ward. So yeah, that's pretty crazy, dude. He might be half scarred now.
And Aaron Carter died without a will. Oh no.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool looking, actually.
I mean,
I
Jay
should-
Leno could do it, man. Like I don't know if he's ever appeared in any movies, but I mean, maybe it's his time. Like they need a Two Face. It's like, look, you literally have half your face burned.
Yeah, call it in the air, bats. Heads or tails? Oh, look at that, tails. What are you gonna do with tails? I don't think it would work. Now that I walk my mind through it,
it sounds nice.
It might look kind of cool, but I don't think it's gonna work for Harvey Dent.
Oh my god, I don't know, dude. Jay Leno is just one of those guys where like I don't even remember he exists until some shit like this happens. Like occasionally I'll see something with like Jay Leno bought this crazy car because he's obviously some avid car collector. I mean, I know that about him, but
he's got like 150 cars. He's got some crazy ones too. That's why it doesn't shock me that this happened to him, because they always show him with these nice classic cars and shit, but he's got some crazy like conceptual cars and stuff that were never meant to be on the road. Some really old cars as well. And so he's got some crazy shit in that garage. They did a whole show called Jay Leno's Garage for a while.
I think it's running. I still think
it's still running. Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah,
so I thought that was crazy. Here's some more aliens for you. Tell me what these are, Scotty. The massive silver fucking probe orbs of an alien species.
I mean, yet again, the proof is just laid bare in front of. What the fuck?
So this was some sort of like corporate art installation that they got high winds and it blew over and fucking bounced around in London for a while, apparently.
Oh, great. I always love shit like this. What happens, dude? When some fucking shit like this happens, I'm always just happy. It's a bunch of rich assholes who are like, look at how beautiful it is. We're going to get so much attention. It's like, yeah, you're going to get a lot of attention.
I'm glad this cost some corporation a bunch of money.
Oh, fuck yeah. You know it did.
And it didn't kill anybody, so
no, yeah, it's fucking harmless, dude.
It's probably fine.
I know a bunch of election results. Like, it was actually, I know for a fact that the Democrats fucking held on to the Senate. Not that it'll make any fucking difference, because it's still like, even if they win in Georgia and have 51, it's like, okay, who's our two conservative Democrats? All right, are you guys gonna suddenly vote differently? Oh, no, just can't get it done. Oh, Republicans have the House. Oh, they won't pass anything.
Yeah, it'll just be another split fucking, it'll be a lame duck session for sure. And, I think a lot of liberals like that. They're just like, shoo, we don't have to do anything crazy. You know what I mean? Nobody expects anything out of us because we're just directly opposed in the checks and balances.
Oh, the status quo.
Just how we like it.
Yeah, see, because then they have the Republicans in the House that they can just say, oh, look, we'd pass it. Oh, we'll pass it in the Senate. 53 votes, 52 votes. Oh, we got it. Oh, but you know what? Can't get rid of the filibuster. Can't do anything. Oh, maybe we'll get rid of the filibuster. Oh, but unfortunately, they have the House.
Just can't get that filibuster-proof majority.
Oh.
Just can't do it. Just can't. We just can't, Scotty. We would love. Look, the fucking medical system is literally falling apart as we're speaking. We know that people's ability to afford housing and stuff has basically become untenable in a lot of cities and stuff. We know that these things are happening, but man, if we could just come up with a way to not have to address any of it, but still get elected, that would be ideal.
Oh, we both point at each other. It's like the Spider-Man meme. Like it's your fault. You know, it's like, oh, okay, shit. What are we going to do, guys?
Yeah.
And of course, it's a bunch of like, we're going to reach across the aisle. Yeah. Oh, that's going to work. Yeah.
I hate that shit, dude. Anybody that says reach across the aisle at this point in history, like I'm immediately suspect.
Like, it's not going to work, man. We've already tried it.
That is garbage. You don't like, if you reach across the aisle, you pull back a stump. Like, we need to destroy the aisle, like, and completely and utterly annihilate the aisle.
What's the halfway for universal health care? Like, where's the halfway? What's the halfway for climate change?
Obamacare is the halfway for universal health care.
Oh, climate change. Well, maybe we should do something about that. Like, what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to limit emissions by 2050. We'll cut our emissions. We promise.
Dude, Biden gave a speech. Biden gave a speech the other day talking about how the United States is doing everything we can to avoid "quote unquote" climate hell.
We couldn't be going headlong faster.
Dude, he's Mr. fucking Pipeline. He's fucking gotten the oil flowing again. This motherfucker he's crowing about gas prices being low or lowering versus the beginning of the year. It's just like, what?
Oh, dude, to me, it's like basically it's like asking like fucking Baron Harkonnen, will the spice flow? Like, of course the spice is gonna flow. Like, all these markets are fucking rigged. It's a bunch of speculators. They can drive the price up, they can drive the price down. People trying to pretend there's like some metric, oh, it's this or that. No, it's not. It's all manipulated. It's all easy to manipulate too.
Yeah, and it ain't gonna be long. I think that this is kind of like the same thing as UFOs. Like, I think that a lot of humanity just doesn't give a fuck about climate change. Like, it just hasn't affected them enough yet. You know what I mean? It's just kind of background radiation in their life. But I'm telling you, dude, it's going to show up
Oh, dude, it's
sooner
small
rather than
numbers
later.
now. It's small numbers now of people, but like there's a new thing like climate anxiety where people are like trying to figure out where they want to live in their country and in the world because they're like, oh shit, this shit's happening. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people like they're burying their head in the sand, going, no, it's fine. It's fine. Go back to sleep.
Right.
No worries. But it's definitely increasingly becoming a concern. Like if you actually look at most real estate sites now, they tell you what your flood risk is, what your fire risk is, what your drought risk. Like, what's the chance you're gonna have a drought in this area? Like, and honestly, most of the U.S. I don't even know if you're aware of this, Paul, which is kind of crazy to me. Most of the U.S., the continuous U.S. is in a drought right now.
Yeah. There's like a nationwide drought, basically. Not every area, but most of the United States.
80% of the counties in the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, you know, and like, it's like no one is talking about it. It's like I actually just look at this shit. I'm just kind of curious. I look at it for my own research, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, why is no one even like? And then we're pretending like, oh, some milk toast, you know, like moderated, watered down policies are going to somehow fix these problems. And it's like, and you're seeing it, and it's like people are like, what state should I move? Where should I go? It's like there'll be some places that are better than others, but if you're thinking the country's going to escape this or the planet, like you're out of your fucking mind. Like that ain't going to happen.
Water wars, dude. The water wars are a coming.
Dude, I actually read a story about the Central Valley. There's a guy that was stealing water there for like decades. You hear about that?
Yeah. I did hear about it.
It's like stole billions of dollars in water, essentially. Like, whatever.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, when I was driving up to the Seattle area, when I got to Northern California, to the mountains there, up in the mountains, it's a big reservoir up there. And I remember driving by when I was a kid, and it was just huge, just like an immense reservoir, dude. It literally has like a tiny little trickle at the bottom of it now. Like it's coming to, it's past that point, honestly. Like it's already at the point where it's affecting everything. It's affecting, the quality of the air and the livability of the area and the viability of the area as an agricultural hub. And that's driving food prices up and blah, 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 blah. Like it's already here. It's just not here yet, quite enough yet for people to actually start caring about it.
No, I mean, and to be honest with you, it's like, here, responding to this doomer stuff. I mean, like what else? Well, I mean, I don't know if you look around.
I think that's part of why people don't give a fuck about this. Is like people are just like, ugh. I mean, I don't want to hear about how, the next generation of human beings and possibly the end of my generation of human beings completely and utterly fucked. It's just like, why not?
Because that's the only way that we can at all affect any sort of positive change in it. It's like, I'm not saying we should just throw our hands up and do nothing. Like I'm saying the opposite. But if we don't look at it rationally and critically examine like how multifaceted this is and like the collapse of our biodiversity in our ecosystem, like I don't know, like how do you fix that problem if you don't talk about it? Even if you like looking at it from that perspective, like how does it get solved by just going like, I don't want to hear about this depressing shit? Okay, then I mean, it's like saying you don't want to hear the news. Like, yeah, some of it I get, like, you don't want to hear about just bad shit.
You're gonna want to hear about it when the water rations start kicking in, when your fucking tap doesn't turn on, and when it does, the water that comes out of it has to be boiled and shit. When that starts happening, you'll care. But all the way up until that fucking hard line where it inconveniences you directly, you won't give a shit. And you'll call it doomer shit. And then you're going to fucking go, why didn't anybody do anything? That's going to be the most frustrating thing about it.
Yeah, you have to look at it.
Is that all of this fucking just turning a blind eye to the reality of what's going on the planet. You know what I mean? People have been screaming it now for decades and decades. A couple of generations, people have known that the planet is dying. And everybody just kind of shrugged their shoulders. Every generation just kind of went, oh, well, somebody better do something, but not me, not us, not my generation. But the next generation better invent some shit or better come up with something. Like, and then it eventually just comes to that point where it's unignorable and everybody's going to go, why didn't anybody do anything? Why did we let it get this bad?
I think it's been done for decades. Even the ozone stuff is now forgotten. I don't think that's true. I think plenty of people are trying to do things about it. It's just that if overwhelmingly we're controlled by these giant corporations, it's not in their best interest to change anything. So I
never forgot it. I never forgot that the fucking oceans were dying, that 90% of all large ocean fish have just been completely and utterly destroyed out of the ocean, either overfished or died due to ocean temperature change or current change. So yeah, like think about that. 90%. And this was back in like the early 2000s. So it's probably close.
Stocks. Yeah.
It's probably close to like 98% now.
Well, we had a thing, an article that we read. I mean, obviously, who knows if this is true, but I think it said by 2050 or something, some year that's not too far off, that there'd be more plastic in the ocean than actual like life, as far as like fish.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you have a plastic ocean. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
There's a fucking giant. There's a giant garbage island off the fucking coast of the northwestern United States that sits between us and Japan. And it's literally just the size of Texas out in the middle of the ocean. And it's fucking 3 feet thick down into the water with just plastic waste. It's called the Gyre.
Yeah. And they're trying, and obviously, you know, talking about people doing something, like people are like in their little tugboats are trying to clean up some of the trash. And I commend them. I mean, like, hey, it's better than doing nothing.
It's like trying to fight the fire when everybody else has got a fucking flamethrower, and every time you throw a bucket of water on it, somebody comes by with a flamethrower and just heats it all up again.
Well, the way a climate scientist described it was like trying to vacuum your house in a dust storm.
Right.
You know, like your analogy works as well. You know, I mean, of course, it's like, how are you going to fucking do it? You know, and we have to change these sustainable ways. We can't, you know, just say, oh, there's like there's some middle ground. It's like there really isn't. Yeah, this is actually another story I read about that was crazy too. The U.S. snow crab population was totally canceled this year because for the last 2 years, snow crab population has decreased by 90%.
Right.
You know, it's funny, as I actually talked to Stevie about this, and I'm like, the people that study this said the most likely possibility is a mass die-off. It said, no, they also said there's a possibility they could have migrated somewhere else they didn't monitor, but that's not really, like, they don't believe that's what happened. It could have happened, but it's not likely.
Just the area is no longer it's no longer sustainable for them. Like overfished, and probably just the change in water temperature, the change in fucking biodiversity. Like it just like that's what's happened to all these other fish. Dude, the ocean used to be literally so filled with giant tuna that like back in the fucking 1800s and 1700s and 1600s, people used to just scoop them fucking out of the, I mean, it was just abundance is unreal.
If you read stories about people who settled in early America and they talk about fish migrations, it sounds completely insane the way they're described.
People would say that like rivers
were flooded with fish.
Yeah, they would sound like a freight train screaming by because there were so many fish churning up the river. Like horses would refuse to cross the river or go near them because there were so many fish.
And such abundant game. And it's like we've basically just pissed it all the fuck away.
There used to be flocks of passenger pigeons in the United States that they've written about that would blot out the sun for hours as they passed over. We're talking about literal 100 billion strong flocks of birds. They're gone. The passenger pigeon is gone. It's not like, oh, there's just a few left. They're gone. They went from possibly trillions of individuals in the Americas to zero. Like our biodiversity is falling at an alarming rate, and it's only a matter of time before this shit is not. And that's why a lot of people are saying overpopulation is a problem. Like I understand people on both sides of that argument. Like,
right.
I think that if run properly and if taken care of properly, the earth could support way more human beings. If you drive in the United States, most of it's empty.
Oh God, yeah.
So it's not like it's not really a lack of space. It's a lack of ability to support people at the current, like what at the current level of fucking expectation. The air conditioning and the fucking single serving plastic everything, like that is not sustainable.
No.
But our entire fucking society is built on that shit now. Like most people eat something out of a plastic dish every fucking day, and that's not going to change. And what is going to change is the viability of those fucking products in general.
Oh no, I know, dude. Like single-use plastics and shit like that. When I see that in places, I'm just like, this is just insane. When you think about it, like we're using all this energy and all these resources into someone's going to use one fucking time ever. Same thing with plastic bottles, anything. Like people go to these fast food places, like why can't we not fucking use shit that's actually in some way fucking sustainable? And the answer is like we could, but it just costs more money.
Right.
And you know, and it's like someone mentioned like energy systems too. It's another thing. It's like we have this, especially in this country, addiction to fucking refined petroleum, hydrocarbons. It's like it's destroying the fucking planet. You know, and it's nice to think like, oh, electric cars, but it's like if you have a dirty energy grid, it doesn't matter. And if you have these fucking rare earth minerals that like the way we get is not sustainable either, and we pollute the environment, it's also not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, the reckoning is coming and nobody seems to care. Hopefully those aliens that everybody has finally admitted are real save us from ourselves.
Please. Yeah, please let the aliens show up. I'm all for that shit, dude.
Even though we have no reason to believe that they will, it'll probably be interesting to them as a study of what happens to endemic life when it gets, you know, too infested with capitalistic drive or whatever the fuck. They're way more likely to just watch us all fucking die and watch what happens to the few people that survive it.
Dude, we're like that starving animal on the nature documentary. Look at it. Oh, it's so sad. We could give them unlimited renewable energy. We could fix all of their problems, but that'd be interfering.
And what are human beings up to? What are human beings up to, Scotty, as the world burns? A man got a jump rope stuck in his bladder because he shoved it up his penis.
What did he think was going to happen?
You got me, bro. You got me. 79-year-old Japanese man managed to get 90 inches worth of jump rope stuck in his bladder. The hard way, too. He went all the way up his penis with it. Crammed it in his bladder.
He at least should have put it on OnlyFans if he was going to do it.
Yeah, really should have. That is just, there it is. You can see the coil there in his bladder. Transurethral extraction was difficult considering the length of the rope and the entanglement. So yeah, it made a big knot in there. So yeah, they had to retrieve the rope through an incision made in his abdomen.
Oh no.
So they had to cut him open to get it out.
Oh fuck, dude. Yeah, there's just some things, like there's some stories I read. And I mean, even like listening to true crime shit, like, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer fucking, you know, cut his victims' brains open and poured bleach on them, or just like the most heinous shit. But then I read stories like this and like, this is worse to me. I don't know what it is about it, but just the thought, it's almost like a demon would be like, your punishment is you must shove 90 feet of jump rope up your penis. Like, what? Why?
Oh, yeah. Like he opened the lament configuration or some shit and Pinhead made him do it.
Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, that does sound like something Pinhead would do.
Harry Potter characters. We're going to rate them, Scotty, me and you.
Okay, let's fucking.
You ready? Mad Eye, S to D rankings.
So right. Being the
Mad Eye Moody.
Mad Eye Moody's awesome, dude.
You know what? I just think he gets fucking screwed over because in the first time we get him, like most of the time he's Bartleby Jr. or whatever. But yeah, no, I think Mad Eye Moody probably fucks on most wizards in the world. So I don't know how he got captured and thrown naked into that trunk though. So
I don't know that, but so are we ranking it based on how much we like the character or how cool they are in the universe or what?
Yeah, just how much we like the character and how badass they are.
I got you.
Yeah.
The next one, who's this one? The next one, Filch or
yeah, that's Filch. Yeah. He's a total narc and he's not even a wizard. He can't use magic. He's a muggle.
Yeah, he's definitely. You know, I think Filch adds a lot to the story. I'm not gonna say he's an S tier, but I probably give him like a B. He adds something to the fucking shit. And I like the fact he's a narc. I mean, like within that universe, I don't like narcs in general, but I think it adds to because he's a foil. He gets foiled all the time. He never really succeeds in what he does. So
yeah,
it's amusing.
I think this is Bellatrix Lestrange.
I was not a fan of her as far as the movie at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not Helena Bonham Carter's best, but it's not, you know, whatever. She's supposed to be evil and off-putting. They
basically, she's disposable in the series. Like they make her something and like it ends with her being nothing. So she's a fucking D.
Yeah, she's garbage for sure.
Dobby
is actually pretty badass.
Master has given Dobby a sock.
Dobby looks like shit the first time we see him, but Dobby gets better looking as the series goes on. He gets easier to look at.
Yeah, and you know, he pays the ultimate price, dude. He fucking loves Harry Potter to fucking death. I mean, literally loves him to death.
He does, yeah. I think he has a lot.
He's an A.
Umbridge. Yeah, Dolores Umbridge. I really liked this character. It was interesting to see the whole evil trope turned on its head. You know, she's like everything that all the other Death Eaters aren't. She likes colorful, patterns and pink and loves kitty cats and stuff. But she definitely like represents conservatism in the movie for sure. That
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
dude.
smiling faced fascism.
She's the banality of evil, where it's like this is all normal within the
Yeah.
range of what the ministry wants.
And she probably could kick some ass too in a wizarding duel. Dude, Draco Malfoy is the biggest pussy in the universe, bro.
Come along.
I hated this fucking snivelly Weasley character. It's such a shitty fucking like, especially in the movies, man. Such a shitty foil for Harry Potter. Like he should have been just as badass as Harry and keeping neck and neck with Harry, and maybe winning most of the time because he cheats.
It's a nepotism fucking case. That's all he is. He's a total nepotism case. He gets ahead because he's rich. He sucks.
Yeah, he sucks, dude. Sit down here with Cho Chang.
Yeah,
Dudley. Dude, Dudley
Dudley.
Dudley sucks until he becomes Big D. You remember that? I can't remember what movie it is, but he becomes like a
third one.
Yeah, he's like a gangster. He's like wearing like a tank top and a big fake gold chain.
Dudley was just great as just a spoiled piece of fucking garbage. But in the end, kind of has like he doesn't really like Harry, but there is some sort of relationship there that's kind of special because he's Vernon Dursley's kid. So like he sees it on a different level, but he relishes in his spoiled status. I like him as a character. I'd say he's an A.
Yeah, he's pretty good. You love to hate him. Dumbledore S tier.
Dumbledore. Like, fucking, there's not even a debate, dude. Dumbledore is an S. He's a fucking awesome character.
He's also the most irresponsible person in the movies and the story, by the way, because he's constantly engineering Harry Potter and his friends almost dying. He allows shit to happen in the castle to test Harry Potter because he's looked into the fucking future and he's seen that Harry Potter has to defeat fucking Voldemort. So he just like basically risks Harry Potter's life in a different way.
Dude,
in every
Dumbledore
movie.
is just like basically the most brilliant fucking strategist in this universe. He fucking fuck 4D chess. He played like 8D chess and he fucking won, dude. So
he's playing like trans-dimensional 12D chess.
He's the GOAT in this universe, really. So
this is Fleur Delacour. She was the shittiest Goblet of Fire contestant easily.
She sucked, dude, and they made her suck in the books and the movies. She's garbage. She was done dirty.
She was, she could have been a way better character, but she just sucked. Like she tapped out during the second challenge.
Yeah, she did. She fucked that up, and Harry like had to go rescue her sister.
Yep. And then like just basically is the first one to get fucked over by the maze. So she sucks, dude. Fuck Fleur Delacour. This is one of the two characters that Warwick Davis plays. Flitwick, I think, professor.
Yeah. Not given much screen time, but always good and memorable when he was an A, I would say.
Yeah, he's true. And I guess that probably goes for his choir director. I can't remember who.
Also, remember, dude, Wingardium Leviosa.
Yeah.
He plays that professor. I think, Professor Flitwick.
Cornelius Fudge, Minister of Magic.
Not a character you're gonna get super excited about. But
no, I think he's like a B. Yeah. He was a good like snivelly toady villain. Like he wasn't really a villain. He was just a guy that was he's like a Bill Maher.
Yeah.
He just like couldn't admit that things were changing and shit, and just thought he was gonna ignore it and all that shit.
The next one is Gilderoy Lockhart.
Gilderoy, yes, I loved him in the movies. It's such a good character, like like a total grifter. Like he claims to be this great wizard, but he just sucks at everything.
Basically, he's good at all three. He is a master of altering people's memories.
I don't know what you think, S or A. As far as
S.
Yeah, I mean he really was. He's one of the great, the best one movie characters. Or one book characters that there are. I know he comes back, I think, a little bit later in the books, but
yeah, I think it's in the 7th book, if I recall.
Yeah, Ginny Weasley. I thought that this felt like such a forced, like she doesn't even start like if they had made Ginny Weasley like badass the whole time, like she was a badass little girl, but nobody paid attention to her because she was too young. But like all of a sudden, one year, Ginny Weasley becomes a badass because she has to. Because that's going to be Harry Potter's love interest. Just kind of sloppy and shitty. I don't know.
Yeah, it was Cho. Then J.K. Rowling went a different direction, and this whole thing with Ginny, especially on the screen, feels so goddamn fucking forced. It's unbelievable. I just can't. I mean, yeah, I'm giving her a D. I mean, I'm not gonna say done dirty, just the character that, like, look, in my opinion, Harry and Hermione should have got together. I think the Ron shit was a fucking huge misfire. I don't agree with it at all. And the chemistry in the movies, they had none. They had fucking negative chemistry.
Agreed.
So just
he had negative chemistry with both of these actresses, by the way.
he did, yeah. Well, Cho as well, yeah. The actress that played Cho, yeah, there was nothing there.
This is I haven't seen these Fantastic Beasts movies. Johnny Depp, the villain from that.
I mean, I won't think it's that's okay. I mean, I don't think he did as Grindelwald. He didn't really blow me away. I'm not as harsh as some people, but yeah, I'd probably put him B or C.
It's all right. Dude, Hagrid is goated.
He's a fucking S, dude.
Yeah, Hagrid is goated.
Dude, when Hagrid died, Robbie Coltrane died. I was fucking sad, dude. I was
that is a sad day.
I'm like,
Hagrid is great. Yeah,
dude. Some people that play these roles are just like, I mean, and this was the case. Whoever cast this fucking movie is a genius. I'll just say
I agree. I definitely agree with that. I think that the hardest casting is actually coming up here. Like, how do you think like Harry Potter as he's portrayed in the movies?
They nailed Daniel Radcliffe. He had some rough moments, and I mean, obviously the child actor, but he really grew throughout the role. It wasn't really and he's done some stuff as an actor, went beyond this too. So I commend him. I think, you know, I won't say born to play the role, but I mean, he fucking nailed it.
He was about as close as I think they were going to find.
He fucking nailed Harry Potter. He's not a
10-year-old boy that was could do this. So
Hedwig, I mean,
Hedwig the owl. He's the coolest owl for sure. Well, maybe not even, because doesn't like somebody has like a not Errol the scraggly Weasley owl, but there's like a badass evil looking owl at some point. But yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, you know, Hedwig's pretty cool. He's a B.
Oh man, Fox should be on this list if Hedwig is, because Fox would get a fucking S.
Oh yeah, Fox definitely should be on this list. Hermione, I don't know, man. Once again, like this portrayal of Hermione, I could give or take.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, I know a lot of people fucking just love to carry water for Emma Watson. I don't think she's just terrible in the role, but I just don't think she nailed it as much as Daniel Radcliffe nailed Harry.
I just remember her being way more colorful and interesting in the books, and she's kind of basic.
She was nerfed, you know, I think in a lot of ways because of some of the things she did it's just too activisty, you know, so they just cut that shit out.
This is what was that fucking teacher's name that
Professor Slughorn.
Slughorn, right? Yeah, I thought he was pretty good in the role. I like this guy. I don't know who he is, character actor guy.
He's a good actor. I mean, he did a really good job. I felt like he really brought that to life. And really a supporting role where you're not necessarily thinking that's going to be a big role. I mean, it really does in the series, in the book series as well, but he really brought that to life. That's A is well deserved.
He's almost as good as Gilderoy Lockhart as a one movie kind of character. So
yeah,
he was pretty good. This is Harry Potter's dad. I mean, I don't know.
He was fine. I mean, whatever. See,
I mean, whatever. We'll give him a B.
I'm not shitting on him. I just really don't remember. I mean, I remember
all he had to do was look the part.
Harry, you know, yeah, whatever.
This is Creature. Yeah, Creature.
I love Creature.
Creature's awesome. Yeah, he's A tier for sure.
I mean, really, just like, I mean, the yin and yang of Dobby and Creature is just wonderful. Wonderful contrast in those characters.
Agreed. This is that crazy bitch that Ron dates.
Oh yeah, Wan.
She calls him Wan. Yeah,
she's obsessed. I mean, for an obsessed teenage girl, she did what she needed to do. I think she gets a B.
She definitely, and it's fun too how her character like ramps up in annoyingness. Like at the first, you think, oh, good for her, you know, yeah, good for Ron. You can get over this weird like tension that he has with Hermione, and you know maybe, but then like as soon as she gets her hooks into him, she turns into a total nightmare. So yeah, I thought she was pretty good. We'll give her an A.
That's fine.
The Lily Potter, I'll just put her.
Same.
I'll put her with James.
Now, the Malfoy that I actually like the portrayal of.
Oh yeah, he fucking
nailed it. As much as Draco sucked, Lucius Malfoy is a fucking amazing antagonist, especially in the second.
Just a great character. It was like tons of false bravado, but he's a total coward. You know what I mean?
I love how that's revealed just over time. That like really, he's just a coward, and he just seeks power, and he seeks but he wants to be dominated at the same time. He's in a sense he thinks he's powerful, but he's actually super weak. So I kind of love that.
Luna Lovegood.
I think she did a good job. I really think that I was kind of worried about this character. It was just going to be annoying, and she really wasn't.
Yeah, she was good. Yeah, she was definitely good. I think an
Professor
A.
McGonagall. Oh, she's great, dude. She's like that.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely does exactly what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to be like the stodgy, strict teacher that everybody kind of hates, but she really cares about the kids. You know what I mean?
She's not a
Everybody's
blood.
afraid of.
She's not a blood character, but she's really good in the role, and the actress did a good job. I think it's either B or an A.
Yeah, I'll give her an A. Moaning Myrtle. I loved this character,
Yeah.
dude.
Nobody
Dude, Moaning Myrtle is a fucking S tier in my opinion.
I love
dude.
how they kept bringing her back too. Like you would never see that shit coming, and they would just find a way to work her back in. I mean, rightfully so. She was great.
She might be the best girl in the series too, dude. She might be my favorite. I don't know. I think that who's this? Is this the lady who's lit or her eyes or
she's
hair
the one that can
change?
become Nagini or whatever. It's like she's like the woman that transforms.
Oh yeah.
No, they didn't like give her much development. She's like a C or a D.
Yeah, definitely. I think she's a C. She belongs there with Bellatrix.
Oh, Neville.
Neville. I mean, I think Neville's pretty fucking awesome. I think he did a good job. I think he's
that dude nailed Neville. That's the next one is like the dude from what's his name from Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, so you'll have to
remember his fucking name. Whatever. Newt Scamander. He's like I give him a fucking C.
Yeah.
I'm just not too much into it.
Here's this chick's hair changes. Like she's just kind of like a background member of the Order of the Phoenix.
She had a way bigger. She factored way more in the books than the movies ever really did.
They just kind of like referenced her in the movies for fans, but she doesn't really get much to do, and she's dead before you know it.
Yeah, so. I don't know. I just think honestly, just done dirty by the movies, probably a C.
Yeah. This is the Ollivander's wand guy, I guess. Yes, he was great. I really think, honestly, I can't remember this. Is John Hurt? Yeah.
John Hurt, yeah.
Yeah, John Hurt. I think he was wasted on this role, honestly. I think he could have played like a Dumbledore or, any number of roles.
He did not play because he was actually friends and knew Richard Harris, and just felt there was too much of a familiarity, I think, to take on that role. I mean, because like he played the first two in movies, and then obviously he passed away. So, which is, I mean, that's really a unique thing about Dumbledore too. And we're actually rating it. It's like we're actually rating two actors, but Richard Harris was great as Dumbledore too.
Yeah, he was for sure.
But Ollivander, John Hurt did a great job. That's an A. I mean, but for a tiny role to have that, to have that much of an impact, and where I can remember that scene in my head, that's definitely saying something.
True. I don't recognize this person. Is this another Fantastic Beasts character?
I don't remember. I honestly.
All right. Well, if we can't remember him, he must have sucked. This is not Wormtongue. Who am I thinking? The rat guy.
Yeah, Wormtail.
Wormtail. There you go. Yeah. I mean, definitely like a great toady character. You know what I mean?
Master. Yes, Master.
Just a totally like, just a total shitty little toady. I think he did a bang up job. This character that like the guy with the turban that has the Dark Lord under it. You know what I mean?
Quirrell, yeah.
Yeah, Professor Quirrell. I don't know. I mean, he was definitely effective, but not super.
He didn't knock your socks off for sure.
No, B or C.
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 I thought one of the least of the villains in those movies, for being honest.
Professor Lupin.
I think that guy did a pretty good job of that. Yeah, honestly, I feel like
he was pretty badass.
Yeah, I felt like they actually gave him some good moments with Harry too in screen time.
Yeah,
Ron.
I think Ron Weasley, like honestly, for what the character is supposed to be, I think he does a pretty fucking decent job. I don't think he's great, but I don't know.
I think he knew what he was doing with it. I think definitely Rupert Grint had a understanding of the character, and I think that he doesn't really get enough credit. Honestly, I would vote A for him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think he does a pretty good job. He's fun to watch for sure, and that means a lot. Can't remember this kid's name, but he's around in almost all the movies. He's like, you know what? He's great in the role because he's like the background kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's the kid that's there through every movie, and he's got continuity, but he doesn't really do anything. You know what I mean? He's never really the center of anything, at least in the.
Yeah, you're right. He's that background radiation character, but he adds that touch that without him, it's like you don't have that real. You don't really feel like you're out of school then. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Hogwarts if the crazy Irish kid that always blows. His potion always blows up in his face. That's his.
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah, you're right. He's a B.
Yeah, he's good. Sirius Black. I mean, whatever. It's Gary
That's
Oldman.
Gary Oldman. He's an S dude.
Yeah,
He's a
this
fucking
S
ass.
tier just for being Gary Oldman. Another S tier here in my
Alan
opinion.
Rickman, it's a fucking S dude. He like I was gonna say the one person I think inhabited the role better than anybody in their character, and I fucking saw them in my head is the same as Alan Rickman. He fucking.
You're probably right about that. There's only one other person that I would put up against him.
Dude, J.K. Rowling, the only person that knew the whole ending was fucking Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman was a goddamn legend, just a terrific actor. I mean, like Alan Rickman's kind of actor, you can put him in dog shit, and he's great.
Dude, he was funny as fuck too. Like I remember it was a news story back in the day. Like he gave some kind of interview after these movies wrapped where he talked about how much he hated all the kids. He was like, I hated working with all these fucking kids. And he was like, especially he apparently especially hated Emma Watson. He's just hated her portrayal of Hermione. He said in the interview that he wanted to leave after the second movie, and the only reason he stayed is because of J.K. Rowling is a creative genius or whatever, and he wanted to see
a pile of money. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure he got paid a fucking fortune.
Alan Rickman knew the business he was in. I don't know if he'll come back, and like, I think a lot of times they threaten to recast something, but just like when you have that level of talent, they just can't replace you. It's just a fucking fact. I think that I'll be honest with you, they would have an easier time replacing Harry Potter than they would have Alan Rickman as Snape.
You're right. He's unmistakably Snape. You're right.
So it's like you can't beat that.
I remember this. The
she's a famous British actress too.
Yeah.
I cannot fucking place her name, but she's been on a ton of shit.
Professor something or other. She's the like
Professor Trelawney.
Trelawney. Yeah, there you go.
I can't remember the actress name, but she's been a ton of shit.
Yeah. She was pretty good for what she was supposed. She definitely felt like a quirky teacher at the school or whatever. Victor Crumb, or was it Crumb?
Yeah, he's just a fucking brute, dumb character.
Yeah, he had nothing to do in the movie. Dude, I love this. I love this Voldemort, man. This Voldemort is goated. Dude, you know what my favorite thing about Voldemort is the physicality of him. Like how he holds his wand differently than everybody. Like instead of holding it, very firmly with a thumb on it and pointing it at people, he has it like kind of backwards in his hand, and he holds it very daintily and shit. Like I loved, and I'm a big apologist for Ralph Fiennes. I think
Ralph Fiennes is a great actor. I won't hear anything to the contrary to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
he's great,
but like a lot of people gave him shit for his role, and there's some things I think obviously could be improved about the role. I mean, I can almost see any role like that, but I mean, dude, it's so. I think to be such a stereotypical bad guy in a sense, but then deliver like the death and performance he gave. I think for within the confines of the universe in a kids movie, I think it pushed the boundaries as much as humanly possible. And I agree with you. I definitely think he was great. I mean, like I said, whoever cast this fucking movie, like, look, even lame ass fucking Victor Crumb is well cast. I don't like the character. I don't think anything was well. Like, I don't think he was well acted or even that memorable.
He looks the part though.
But every fucking person on this list, like, it was just cast beautifully. And I mean, and look, having that many S tiers, I don't think we've ever done a list where it was like awesome. Like
that is true. The series did. I'm actually rewatching the Potters right now with Amelia. We just got to the last.
So let me ask you a question. What is your favorite film and what's your least favorite film to wrap this up?
My least favorite one is probably the first or probably the second one.
The second one. Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, Chamber of Secrets has not been my favorite one.
You know what's funny about that? Shortest book, longest movie.
Yeah, it did feel overlong. And my favorite one I think has been Goblet of Fire. Honestly, like I really like either Goblet of Fire or Half-Blood Prince. I really love how washed out they made Half-Blood Prince. It was like, okay, they're like, yeah, the series has been turning dark for a couple of movies now. Now it's dark. Now we're fully dark. And I love that, just the way that movie looks. So probably one of those two.
People give Christopher Columbus shit for not by the way, not the fucking goddamn sailor, the fucking director. They give Chris Columbus shit. But those first two movies, and ultimately it ends up in David Yates' hands. Like when you look at that way, it evolves throughout those films. Especially they brought in some other directors for the other ones. I think for the third one, I believe.
Yeah.
Like it really, the Chris Columbus ones are stand out so strongly from these later movies, but I think it actually ultimately benefited. Yeah, I know people like, oh, it's so saccharine. I think in a lot of ways it kind of failed to really capture like the spirit of Harry Potter. But I feel like if he had just done the first movie and someone did the second movie, I think that would have just been the perfect setup to see that transition as it went on.
Yeah. I mean, I think all the movies did a great job for what they were. Like the first movie, when you watch it, you can tell that it wasn't like the movie studio didn't want to spend a mint on it because they didn't know if it was going to translate. Like they didn't know if the like phenomenon was going to
Oh,
translate
I
to a
did,
movie.
dude.
And so they kind of held back, and then it blew up, and like immediately the second movie looks a world better. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
I remember going and like trying to buy tickets to Harry Potter, and like I had to literally buy tickets like a week later. It was every showing was sold the fuck out. Like I could not
Yeah.
get tickets for like a fucking week for the second movie. And after that, I was like, Mom, Dad, I gotta order the tickets in advance. I gotta get advance tickets so I can see Harry Potter the night it comes out. It was just, I mean, the books and everything. Like, I know obviously at Gen Z at this point, it's like a bad joke. These fucking people obsessed with Harry Potter, but dude, for millennials, and I mean, even for Paul's generation, it's like we just love this fucking shit. Can't get enough of it. I don't
Yeah,
know
I mean,
why.
it definitely reaches across generations. I've read all these books. I've seen these movies now going on probably 3 times a piece or something,
Oh, me
which is
too. I've seen it so many times.
so yeah, no, this is a great movie. Like it doesn't I don't know. I don't think I give it enough credit when I'm thinking about movies that I really like because it's just
I agree. I mean, to make
not
that
every movie is a home run, but like there's so many good moments in every one of these movies, so many good characters, and just the visuals are always on point.
I mean, think about this, Paul. How many movies can you say there's 8 parts and it's still watchable and it's still good?
None.
Like we're talking about
Zero.
Hellraiser, it's like, no, sorry.
Yeah,
We're talking about
zero. Yeah.
Friday the
I
13th.
can't think of a
No.
franchise. I can't think of a franchise that didn't turn to shit after like the fourth movie at the very
Well, but it's a
best.
continuous story. Like people could argue, like, oh, there's been good James Bond movies and shit. Like, yeah, granted that, but like continuous storyline, no, I can't really think of anything else. And
I think
mean,
Star Wars maybe no, Star Wars maybe comes the closest of any other franchise. I think that if you look at the prequels and the original trilogy, I think the prequels kind of suck, but there's a lot to like about them as well. There's a lot of really cool looking stuff, and
I mean, yeah, there's a reason they did as well as they did. It
they
wasn't
don't feel like a total fucking betrayal of what Star Wars was like the last three have.
you know,
So yeah,
they were like we're like old war veterans at this point. Remember when Star Wars, like the prequels ain't bad, dude? What are we gonna say next, Paul? Give us 10 more years. Let's be like, man, the prequel sequels, those actually, looking at what we got now, ain't half bad.
the Last Jedi was actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
like I
no.
never expected it. Just the slow. Well, that's like the planet. Probably to bring this full circle. It's just like the gradient of expectations. It doesn't have to go down fast. It just has to go down really slow.
Well, is that Grease Trap, Scotty? What do you think?
It is, man. See you guys on Wednesday. If you're a
Have a
patron.
good one. Yep. Patrons or fucking onion nuggets on
If you're a
Wednesday.
thief, then we won't see you. Actually, we will. Fuck it.
Woohoo. All right. See you guys then. Bye.